So we're going to build this Phyllo enclosure. Let's go. Here's the thing, every single little piece is like so well packaged in these tiny little compartments. All of your doors and pieces of glass have got shoulder pads. Like, what's that about? Shoulder pads. Everything that you're going to need to build this enclosure with comes in this little baggie, but I like to get organised, so we're going to get organised here. So all of these little bolts right here are going to be used to put the enclosure together. Everything in this baggie is going to be used to apply door handles to our glass doors at the end of this build. And you're going to build your entire enclosure using this one Allen key with a screwdriver on the end. So we're going to start with the base of our vivarium. Now, when you look at your base, it's very easy to identify where the front is, because on every side is a single slider for you to slide your acrylic back and sides into. But if you look at the front, if we look at the front here, there's multiple runners, one for the front door, a back door, and a substrate barrier. So it's very, very obvious which way the front is. So we're going to start by placing our front panels to the front of our vivarium. And they're really easy to tell from the back panels. One, because there is some foam inside. And two, the back panels are literally labelled as back panels. So the ones without a label and the foam in for the doors are your front panels. So what I'm going to do now is get behind my base. Now what we're going to do is attach our front panels. Now it's really easy to line up which one is which, because one side is singular and one side is multi-track to be the bar that the glass runs into. So the next thing I'm going to do is take one of our bolts, and I'm going to feed it through the hole at the back of this vivarium. You can see it sticking out right here. And we're simply going to take the Allen key tool provided in the box, hold out our arm and begin to screw it in. Give it a nice tighten, and our front leg, or arm should I say, the front panel, nice and secure. Now we're going to flip it. There we go. Now you'll notice I've got this leaning backwards, and the reason for that is that at the bottom we have the other arm, and I don't want to apply weight and make it bend and cause it to snap. So I'm just having it leaning backwards, using the foam to support its weight, and voila, a nice solid arm has now been attached. So we're now going to attach our back panels to each point on the back of our Phyllo enclosure. But there's one thing you have to take notice of. On the back ones, one side has little hooks, right where my finger is, and the hooked side is what faces inwards towards the back panel. Again, line it up and look for the little hook. The hook points towards the back. Gonna take our bolt, feed it through the back. One side done, shift across to the other side, and there we go. We've got all four arms on our enclosure base. And at this point, I'm going to take the back panel out. So I kept it in there because this kept it nice and secure. With the majority of the weight here now. So what I can do now is start taking the plastic cover off of our back panel. Then what we're going to do is just slide it into the runners at the top of our vivarium. And there we go. We just slide our back panel down the runners. And that's our back wall in nice and easy. Once they're peeled, again, go to your sidewall runners, one end in, and place your wall down in there. So the next thing, before we ever put our lid on, is we want to attach our wire hole accessory on the side. So simply place it through and then screw on like so. Our next thing is to take our substrate barrier and place that on the inner part of our runners. The next thing is placing on the screen at the top. Easy to know which way it goes, logo at the front. Then what you want to do is just line up the runners at the top so that it drops down nicely onto your back panels and side panels. Once you've done that, take your remaining bolts, you should have 4 left at this point, and drop them into each corner. And then take your Allen key and screw it up. What we're going to do now is attach our doors onto our glass. But first we're going to take one of our little screws like this, place it into our plastic holder, feed it through, and now we're going to use the other side of our Allen key, which is the screwdriver. I'm going to start screwing in our door. So go into the point where you feel secure, but not too much that you're going to break the glass. But now look at that. Look at that door. It's so solid that I can lift the glass by the handle and it's not coming off or shifting. It's solid. Now, if you can't get your glass in because it's too tight, you can simply just go to the top of your vivarium and just loosen up the front 2 bolts. Just slightly, just so you have a little bit of wiggle room to put your glass in. There we are. Just slide it in like that. That's the back one in. Find your runners and then swivel your bottom half in to the bottom runner. And there we go, in our vivarium. Now you can retighten nice and tight, knowing that your glass is not going to fall out. These tanks can look absolutely amazing, and when they're fully finished and done, here's how they can look. Here's my leopard gecko, and she lives in this 120 gallon Philo Zoo enclosure. They're lightweight, they're beautiful and easy to build. And the one thing that I didn't tell you putting together this Philo Zoo enclosure is I built the one that I just filmed in this video and this one by myself, and I have cerebral palsy, which means I have a neurological problem, technically disabled, where my hands don't really work. I don't really have the motor function the same way that you do. So if I can build it, you can build it. And I am basically the guinea pig of the industry. If I can build it by myself with hands that literally copy each other, I'm not doing that, literally copy each other. If I can build it, you can build it. And that's how easy these enclosures are to build. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.